Alright, Section 9, Gooseneck Hydraulic System Maintenance, paragraph numbers 426, General, 4263, Hydraulic Line Replacement, 464, Hydraulic Pressure Relief Valve Replacement, 465, Throttle Valve Replacement, hydraulic throttle valve replacement, 466, Hydraulic Directional Control Valve and Pressure Gauge Replacement, 467, Setting Hydraulic Pressure. Alright, General, the section provides information performing the unit level of hydraulic maintenance repairs on the M870A3 semi-trailer hydraulic line replacement. The task covers the replacement, installation, initial setup of the equipment, trailer parked on level of the ground, brakes and gauge tape, anti-sealing tape, tie plastics, tools testing, equipment tools, mechanical general, clutching gooseneck that must be securely supported during the procedure, resting on a firm foundation. Severe injury or death of the personnel may occur when the gooseneck is unstable in tips. High pressure of the hydraulic oil under 2450 psi is used to operate this equipment can pierce below body tissue that cause severe injury to the personnel. Never disconnect any air hydraulic line or fitting without first dropping the pressure to zero. Wear safety valve to perform delicate checks on the valve. Failure to do so may result in serious injury due to the high pressure over the oil. 463 hydraulic line replacement. Continue to note that the hydraulic lines can be replaced or repaired depending on the length of the damaged section. If the damaged line is short, replace it. If the damaged hydraulic line is long, repair it. See paragraph 421 line and report 422 anti-seizing tape for the general gooseneck hydraulic line maintenance instruction. A replacement. Hydraulic lines and fittings are not ordinarily removed unless they need to be replaced. Badly damaged line with the fittings that must be replaced. Hydraulic lines must be tightly connected. See gooseneck hydraulic diagram for additional information. Alright, 1 is your hydraulic tilt cylinder, 2 the pressure relief valve, 3 is the hydraulic lift cylinder, 4 is the hydraulic lift cylinder, 2 is 2 spool hydraulic directional control valves, and 6 is the hydraulic pressure gauge. With the 6, 7 is a female coupling, and 8 is a male coupling. You got your male coupling hydraulic tilt cylinder, 2 with your pressure relief valve, and then 3 and 4 would be your hydraulic lift cylinders, and 5 and 6 would be your 2 spool hydraulic direction control valves and pressure gauge. 464 hydraulic pressure relief valve replacement, removal and installation. The equipment is conditioned with the trailer parked on level of the ground and brakes engaged. The tool set, general mechanics with marker tag and tape with the anti-seizing. General safety instruction: gooseneck must be securely supported during the procedure attached to the trailer. Warning: gooseneck must be securely supported during the procedure of retesting the firm foundation. Several injury death to the personnel may occur, but the gooseneck is unstable to tip. The high pressure of the hydraulics to oil under the 240 psi with the use to operate this equipment can pierce body tissue and can serve the injured personnel to never disconnect any hydraulic line fitting without first dropping the pressure to zero. Rear safety goggles performing leakage on the test of valve. Failure to do so must result with a serious injury and due to the high pressure oil removal. Release all pressure for the hydraulic line. Shaft the disconnect the hydraulic line with the further pressure relief at the inlet and outlet ports with the cape of the tape at the close for the openings of the port of the lines. Caution: cap the plug with all of the ports and the hose end to prevent the contamination for the hydraulic oil. Failure to do so may result in damage to the equipment. Loosening and remove the 2 lock nuts with the securing the pressure relief valve 3 with the gooseneck and disconnect the relief valve from the mounting of the studs. Installation. Install pressure relief valve with the 3 ounce at the gooseneck relief valve mounting stud with the screw into the position with the 2 lock nuts for the torque lock nuts to 9 foot-pounds. Remove the tape and then cap of the 4 relief valve hydraulic lines, 1 with the relief valve ports, and apply with the anti-sealing tape the reds for the hydraulic lines. Reconnect with tighten the lines appropriate to the ports with the direction of the tanks previously attached during the removal of the procedure. Previously pressurized systems and check for leakage. Follow on task. None. Or 465 hydraulic throttle valve replacement. The task covered the removal and cleaning and installation. Equipment conditions, track and park on level of the ground, brakes engaged with wheel shock with the gooseneck, gravel the guard with the removed materials, marker tape, the anti-seizing tape, the 4WD-40 and O-ring. The general safety instruction: gooseneck must be securely supported during the procedure and attached to the trailer. Tool set, general mechanics. Warning: gooseneck must be securely supported during this procedure. Retesting of the unfirm foundation. Severe injury or death to the person may occur if the gooseneck is unstable to tip. The high pressure of the hydraulics oil under 2450 psi used to operate this equipment can pierce the body with the tissue, can cause severe injury to the personnel. Never disconnect any hydraulic line fitting of the first drop of the pressure to zero. Where safety goggle the performing leaking test on the valve. Failure to do so may result in a serious eye injury due to the high pressure of oil. Or removal the release valve, all the pressure for the hydraulic lines. Disconnect the hydraulic line, hydraulic throttle valve 1. To disconnect the throttle valve 1 from the hydraulic lift cylinder, lift 4 with the remove the O-ring. 3 with the discard the O-ring. Caution: failure to cap the plug and all open fitting of the hose end with the preventing of the contamination. The hydraulic system may result with the damage to the equipment. 4 the cap and plug open, lift and cylinder fitting 4 with the open hydraulic line end 2. Clean the throttle valve using the WD-40 item 7 of the appendix F of the blowout. The center using the compressed air. Installation: remove the tape of the cap of the tape and caps for lifting of the cylinder fitting forward with the hydraulic line, disconnecting end with the tube with the anti-seizing tape to the threads of the hydraulic line with lifting cylinder fitting. Install a new O-ring onto the hydraulic lift cylinder for the fitting of the ring. Reconnect the throttle valve with one of the cylinder lifting fitting with the hydraulic line tube with the tightening as appropriate. 4. Pressurize the system with a check for the leaks. The following on the task none. Alright, 466, hydraulic directional control valve pressure gauge replacement task and removal and installation. The equipment of the trailer park will level the ground brake gauge and the gauge of the marker and tag of the tape and anti-seizing tape. General safety instruction gooseneck must be securely supported during the procedure of the attach for the trailer tool set and general mechanic kits. Gooseneck must be securely supported during this type of the procedure. Retesting of the firm foundation serve the death, severe death and injury personnel may occur with the gooseneck is unstable or tips. The high pressure hydraulics oil under 2450 psi with the use to operate with the equipment that can pierce the body and tissue cause severe injury to personnel. Never to disconnect the airline, any hydraulic line or fitting without the first drop of the pressure. The zero wear safety goggles when performing leakage tests on the valve. Failure to do so may result in a serious eye injury due to the high pressure oil removal. Release all the pressure for the hydraulic line. Attack and disconnect the 5 hydraulic lines, 1 from the rear of the side of the directional control valve, 3 from the inner outlet ports for the cap and tab. Tape closed openings in the ports and lines. Caution: the cap, the plug, and all the ports at the end of the hose lines prevent contamination of the hydraulic oil. Failure to do so may result in the damage of the equipment. 3. Tag and disconnect the hydraulic line from 5 from the pressure gauge. 4. With loosening the removal of the 3 mounting bolts. 2. With the washer nuts securing the hydraulic directional control valve. 3. Through the gooseneck, remove the control valve with the pressure gauge. With the loosening the separate pressure gauge. 4. With the direction of the control valve. 3. Alright, replacement. Installation. Remove the tape of the tape and the cap of the direction control valve with the pressure gauge with the port with the anti-seizing tape with the threads with the pressure gauge. 4. With the thread gauge onto the direction control valve. 3. Without orientation with the gauge with vertical position. Install the hydraulic directional control valve. 3. On the inside of the wall with the gooseneck secure it into the position with the 3 nut mounting bolts, washers, and the mounting bolts. 2. With the washer and nut, the torque bolt to 35 foot-pounds of torque. Remove the tape of the nut or cap through the pressure gauge of the hydraulic line. 5. The anti-seizing tape the threads of the hydraulic line and connect the tape and pressure gauge of the hydraulic line. 5 to the pressure gauge. 4. Remove the tape and caps of the 5 hydraulic line to be connected with the inlet and outlet ports with the control valve. 3. With the apply anti-seizing tape with the threads of the line. Reconnect the tightened line with the appropriate port of the direction of the tag with the previously attached during the removal of the procedure. Pressurize the system and the check for leaks. Alright, this shows your hydraulic directional control valve replacement, pressure gauge replacement. Follow on task 9. 467, setting hydraulic pressure, task covered and adjustment. Equipment conditions and initial setup. The trailer park lower toward the level of the ground, brakes engaged and wheel shock. The tool set general mechanics. Note: a reading of 2500 psi on the gauge with the hydraulic controls are in use. The readings will go down to 500 psi when the levels are disengaged, but the pistons vary due to the load. Hydraulic pressure will vary from 300 to 2500 psi on a normal operation with the reach of the maximum of 2500 to 2800 psi under full load. Adjustment: raise the gooseneck tilt to the support lever of 2 until the support arm is fully raised. Wait until the continuing the hold the support lever 2 the raise. Check out the PSI reading on the pressure gauge. 1. The PSI reading should be the 2500 to 2800 PSI. The PSI reading is higher than 2800 PSI. Lower than 2500 PSI. Adjust the pressure, adjusting the pressure relief valve. Move the spring barrel nut the 4 on the pressure relief valve and loosen the larger than retaining nut 5 with using the 1/16 of an inch deep well socket. Rotate the clockwise on the 6 side Allen stud with the 3 locks located inside of the barrel nut. 4 on the pressure relief valve. 6 to raise the pressure setting and the counterclockwise to lower the pressure setting. Install the barrel nut. 4 with the lock in the Allen nut stud. 3 in the position to retighten the retaining nut. The repeat studs 1 and 2. But if the pressure reading is still not correct, verify the pressure on the primary. Move the supply system and continue step 7. Remove the small barrel nut. 8 within the direction control valve of the tank with loosen the larger retaining nut. 7 that use the 1/16 of an inch deep well socket. Warning: do not exceed 3000 psi. Serious injury, death, or major control if the pressure exceeds 3000 psi. Alright, setting hydraulic pressure continue. Rotate the 6-sided Allen nut stud the clockwise to raise the pressure setting on the direction of control valve to set the pressure as high as possible, but not exceeding 3000 psi. But the pressure gauge on the direct control valve can now be used to verify the pressure setting on the primary mover supply system. And Section 10, body maintenance, 468, 469, 470, and 471. Your general mud flap replacement, floorboard replacement, and toolbox replacement. 468 General. The section provides information performing unit level of body repair with the M870A3 semi-trailer with the 469 mud flap replacement test. Cover the removal of the insulation of the trailer park with level of the ground, brakes engaged with the wheel shock with the nut self-locking for general safety instruction none. Remove the four self-locking nuts, with the three with the nuts from the screw, 6 with the behind the bracket, 6 with the discard self-locking nuts. Remove the bracket, remove the mud flap, 2 with the washer, 4 washers, then screw with the 6 from the trailer frame, 5 with the install the position mud flap, 2 on the trailer frame, and install the 4 screws, 6 on the 4 washer with the 3 with the bracket, 1 with the mud flap, 2 with the trailer frame, 5 with the screw with the 4 new self-locking nuts. Mud flap replacement shows the mud flaps, I guess it is. Floorboard replacement, remove the insulation. Equipment trailer park down level the ground, brakes, engage, wheel shock, tool cab, mechanical equipment, general school, shop equipment, common number, new 1, dock, persons needed, 2, decking parts, material parts, decking board, general shape, safety instruction, keep hands on the feet and with the round area when holding boards. Removal from under the trailer. Move the nut and then 4 with the clip with the 5 with the screw with the 2 with the using the soft head famer with the drive out the screw with the 2 with the board 3 with the repeat steps 1 and 2 with the other nuts and clips and screw within the board. Remove the old board 3 with them in the deck 1. Installation warning: do not approximately the location where the holes will be drilled in the boards. Do not place hands or feet in the wear with the holding of the board. Serious injury may result when the drill bit in contacts the hand and foot. Install new board 3 in the deck 1. Check for the proper fitting. Floorboard replacement. Continue the trailer deck material. Pitting the very dense wood and it is difficult to cut and drill. Special tools may be required for the cutting and drilling. The replacement at pointing boards and is required. Using an electric driller bit with drill holes in the board. Use the hammer to drive the screw. Use a hammer drive screws in board as far as possible. Repeating the remaining holes with the install of the clip with the 4, 5 and then 4 and unscrew 2. Tighten until the head screw with 2 is fully seated. Repeat the thrust of the clips and screws and nuts. Alright, 471, your toolbox replacement. Removal of disassembly, assembly, and installation. Installation, trailer park, level the ground, brakes, engage, wheel chock with tools, kit, mechanical, general, shop equipment, common number 1. Material parts, pin, hinges, 3 with the general safety instruction. Care point debris may be hazardous during removal using extreme care with the cutting, the grinding, or welding on metal. Surface of the trailer must be uncoupled from prime mover before welding. Alright, warning: chemical agent resistant coating or CARC, paint debris must be considered the environmental hazard during the removal. Consult local procedures for the removal of the chemical agent resistant coating of the paint to ensure the compliance with the local laws. Warning: the base issue items box is listed and inscribed with the pneumatic opening with the caution should be used to be opening of the basic issue item box. The failure to do so could result in injury to the personnel. Basic issue item box. Removal of the replacement basic issue item box requires 2 personnel. Failure to do so could result in injury to the replacement. Removal of the caution. Extreme caution must be exercised with the cutting of the grinding of the welding on metal. Surface with excessive heat with these crusts. This is may cause damage to the reduction of the strength of the air that are worked on. The process should only be performed under supervision or trained personnel. In accordance with the local procedure of the chemical agent resistant coating of the paint, with removal of the paint from the air to be repaired, remove the safety clips and pull the disconnect of the pneumatic cylinder. 6 with the ball studs. 3 with the removal of the pneumatic cylinder. Remove the nuts. 4 from the ball stud. 3 with the using the cutting torch. Release the welds between the hinge of the toolbox. Cover the 2. Remove the cover. Use the hammer and the punch and the drive pins. The 1 out of the hinges. Discard the hinge pins and remove the 6 lock nuts and the 6 light washers, 6 bolts, and lift out off the toolbox 10 from the gooseneck and discard lock nuts. Disassembly. Fully open and secure the toolbox lid with the disconnect floor end of the pneumatic cylinder of the tilt and the wooden toolbox floorboard with the 11 open on the one side of the clear pneumatic cylinder ball studs with the 3 lift off the floor. Assembly. Tilt and lower the lower toolbox floor within tool the toolbox and clear the glass cylinder ball stud with the drop of the floor and the plate for the reconnected gas cylinders. Installation. Install the toolbox onto the gooseneck screw with the 6 bolts with the 6 flat washers, 6 new lock wire. Install the new hinge pins at the portion with the hinge attached to the toolbox and install the toolbox to cover the portion with the hinge into the hinge pins located in the toolbox cover to the closed position. Align the toolbox cover to the clamp hinge in the position. Caution: when welding the trailer must be uncoupled from the primary. Move the failure to follow the warning of the damaged electronic components. Note: refer to TM9237 for the instruction on welding components. Welding toolbox cover, the portion of the hinge in the toolbox cover. Check alignment of the cover to the toolbox 10 before completing the welding procedure. Install the ball stud with the screw the wall with nuts. Install the gas cylinder onto the ball stud 3 with pushing the end of the cylinder over the ball stud. Installing the safety clips 5. Alright, toolbox replacement continued. Following task number nine. No, not following task none. Or section 11, accessory items and maintenance, paragraph 472, general, and 473, data plate replacements. General, this section provides information performing unit level to prepare with accessory items of the M870A3 with a semi-trailer. Data plates replacement of the typical, the removal of the insulation, equipment of the trailer, pump, level of ground, brakes, engaged wheels, shock, materials, rev the 10, tools, equipment, mechanical, general, shop equipment, common number, one, general safety instruction number, none. Removal of drill out rivets from the data plate with discard rivets to remove the data plate. Insulation, place the data plate 1 in its position, display all the date plate with the new rivets 2. And then you have these different welding plates following on this second. Alright, preparation for the storage or shipment. Let's see how long the tape is.